Right, as the Blue Zerg playing for Team Western Wolves, it is of course Mr. Ziktomini. And on the other side of the map, playing for Team Dignitas, it is of course Dignitas DreAm, and he is going to be the red Protoss.
Yeah, we have seen DreAm being a pretty big fan of Oracles in the versus Terran matchup.
Yes.
Are we going to see Oracle play out of DreAm versus Zerg?
I haven't seen too much of his TVZ. I know his PVZ. I know his old school PVZ was... Oh, what was it? It was a lot of robo play, which obviously is changed quite a lot. But they used to do, him and Blin used to do a lot of the, it was like a fake immortal pressure into a Colossus into a third, and you know, they would just wind their opponent up and try and get an advantage that way. Of course it is HOTS now, so it's like a totally different meta game. I think a lot of people think that Stargate is the most best option v-Zerg because it stops the mirrors coming near enough, which is always a very nice thing to have.
Yeah, Muta is very difficult to deal with, very frustrating to play against as a Protoss player. I play Protoss myself, I believe you do too.
We do, we are Protosses.
So we both know how frustrating it can be to be expecting your opponent to be going for some kind of Roach Hydra-based army or straight to Hive Tech, and all of a sudden 10 Mutas flying to your mineral line when you didn't expect them.
If you go for a Robo and you have like a War Prism, which is, was a lot popular, like Hero done that, like you can just fly into Mutas and like that's the end of your strategy and you're behind. Yeah,
and you'd be thinking, oh well, better get some cannons, better get some Stalkers in my mineral line. It's such a difficult place to play from. Protoss players rather don't defend against the Mutas. They, like you said, they go for the Stargate and they pretty much preemptively counter them because having access to Phoenix really makes Muta play very difficult to work with.
And of course, these days Mutas have the +1, Phoenix have the +1 range, so now they they have 2 range over Mutas, and then with the upgrade they have 4 range, so they can actually kite them
very easily.
Infinitely. It's actually very painful to watch.
Yeah, with
and
that upgrade, even we can micro against Mutas very easily. I mean, the professionals probably wouldn't need the 4 range to be able to micro against them, but now it is even easy for master players like ourselves. Anyway, let's get back into this game, see what's happening. Nothing really out of the ordinary much, I would say.
Not really. Zikto's playing a lot more safer than you normally see, from what I could tell. He is going for his third very soon, but he went for like a little bit of a drone scout. He had a spot-on 14 pool, and his hatchery was a little late. But it looks like his third is going to be a good 30 seconds early, which is very nice for him.
Yeah, it's not going to be choosing to get out any additional queens. Just going to stick with 1 queen and immediately into a third base, which is, of course, going to bolster his drone count a little bit, give him a little bit more larva to work with early. He is not worried about any kind of pressure. We've seen a normal expansion build out of DreAm. No kind of one gate expand with a little bit of Zealot, Warp, Mothership Core, Stalker pressure, just a normal Forge expand. Yeah, and
I like this by DreAm. He's actually been a little funky. He's taken a gas in his main, a gas in his natural, just to throw off his opponent, which is always very interesting. But as we can see, that Ziktomini has actually seen the 1. Another thing to know is there's 2 on each gas, not 3, which is normally a bit of gateway pressure, I would say. That's not going to be a Stargate until he gets a 3rd gas. So this could be interesting, actually.
Yeah, very low gas play. Ziktomini, though, is aware of everything. He flies into the main base, sees, haha, you tried to trick me with that gas. So he is not going to be flipping out. He's not going to be making a lot of spore crawlers expecting some kind of early Oracle play. No, he knows exactly what's up. And he will probably even recognize that, there's only 2 workers in that gas. Yeah. I don't have to worry about that as much.
That is a very good point. And I don't know how many times they've played in the past, but it seems like they might have a bit of history, judging by the play styles. It seems like there's a couple mind games going on that we don't really get, but they will. So that's interesting. Of course, they have, they are residents of the United Kingdom. They have played in a lot of tournaments, so that is something to expect. And it's going to be a Mothership Core with a Stalker. Nothing standard, and of course we do have the Zealot, so it may be just a couple, little bit of pressure, force like 10 Zergling and stuff like that, and return home.
Yeah, could very well be. He's going to be taking out a Zergling. And no, actually, that Zergling going to be pretty lucky. Going to be able to get out of there. There's good Overlord spreads. The Overlord still in position behind the mineral line for Ziktomini. Will be able to go in and suicide that when he feels the time is right. And look at that. 5 gateways going down by Bling. Probably going to go for another one. 6. That's what I'm expecting him to end at.
We can see the layout, but it's not being built. It looks like there's a missed rally or something. Yeah, it's gone back to the minerals and then it's going to rebuild the gate. So that's a little bit off. But yeah, it's just going to be like a 6 gate. And Zikto's Overlord is getting really close. And there's nothing in the base to actually kill us, so it is going to scout it.
It's going to see everything.
Yeah, and DreAm's got proxy pylons relatively close to the base. There's no creep there anyway. There's no creep tumors, so that'll make a big difference. One Zealot.
No creep spread up, no spine crawlers on the way just yet.
No.
The Roach Warren is about 75% done. The gateways are finishing up. Warp gateways are not quite done yet. There are a lot of Zerglings here. That Stalker has to be careful, and so does the Mothership Core. Looks like the Mothership Core is confident fighting against the Queen, but this is going to retreat on the last second. Pylons going up all around the map. The gateways are now finishing up. The first Warpins are going to be coming in a second, but so are the first Roaches.
Yeah, the Zerglings are going after the pylon. It is going to finish. There is a backup one just behind it. Warp gate has finished. We do have 5 pylons warping in behind us, and it's actually just 5 Stalkers, which is really smart because there is no speed, so they can kite and they can have very cost-efficient trades. And then the next round will probably be a group of Zerglings. We do have Roaches being built and extra Zerglings, and speed is started, but it still has an extra 80 seconds, so it's not going to be done to defend this attack. A nice target fire in there. He's moving back. Nice time warp, slowing down the Zerglings. And even on speed, on creep, they're slower than the Stalkers with that. So very nice micro. Very
nicely done. Gonna force the Zerglings back, gives him enough time to put off that spine crawler. We see a little bit of a surround trying to go down for Ziktomini. He is gonna get the surround, is he? Yes, he is. And that's gonna help him out immensely. The time warp still down. Some Zerglings reinforcing are slowed down a little bit. This is a real close battle. Looks like the Stalkers are gonna bite the dust. After all, a lot of them on low HP. Oh, that's so close. That Mothership Core doing work in the sky, man.
It has another Queen pops and injects the hatchery, but it's been targeted straight away. So of course the Mothership Core has reigned supreme in the sky, and another time warp getting dropped. Some target firing come down on the Roaches too, because of course he gets the extra damage with the Stalkers. And they're also low. Nice snipe on that last Stalker there. And the bank of DreAm is actually relatively really big, so he needs to try and do something here, because I don't think he's going to be able to pull it if he just carries on with this.
No, he's trying to still make it work. The Mothership Core is now going to be going down to the Queen, and that's going to be turning the tide of battle. There's just not enough Stalkers to deal with the Roaches, and DreAm is going to be forced back. He needs to find some other use for the 1,000 minerals he had in the bank a second ago. Maybe an extra gateway, maybe a bit more chrono boost on his gateways might have given him the few extra zealots that he needed in that battle.
And he's going to call it a day now with this attack, so he is starting to take his gases. He's building probes. His 4th one at the natural is in production now, so he's just going to ramp this up to a standard 2 base. And now, of course, the question is, where does he go from here? He doesn't have any upgrades on his at all, so that's interesting. Probably Robo, I would say, because Stargate's a bit late. It's like you're not really gonna have any. There's queens everywhere, so I don't see a Stargate. And then there is the Robo thrown down.
Yeah, that's really the only option that he had. What else could he do? Like you pointed out, any kind of Blinkstalker or Zealot-based strategy wouldn't work out in the mid-game right here. He wouldn't enable him to secure a 3rd, but it looks like Ziktomini is actually going to put on some aggression here, and DreAm is not going to be thinking about a 3rd base yet. He has to live through this.
He does. He actually hasn't built his Mothership Core again, so he could use that. And the Cyber Core, that is a big snipe. That will stop the Mothership Core being produced if DreAm wanted it. And of course, DreAm's wall is a bit wonky, so there's a lot of surface area, so the Roaches are getting, good damage done to the gateways without actually taking damage. Ooh, the Forge, the +1 is halfway done. But no, actually, Ziktomini changes his mind. Spire is in production as well.
Ziktomini has no upgrades behind this, so taking out the Forge would be good for him. Yes, he does take out that Forge. No upgrades for DreAm, but no upgrades for Ziktomini either, but that Spire is going to be huge.
Yeah.
He is not saving up that many gas, though. He cannot produce that scary amount of mutas.
Let's just check. He's actually not mining from all his gases. He's got 1 in his natural. He's not using the 2 at his 3rd. So he's only on 3 gas, which isn't actually that much. But we have Immortals in production. We don't really have any Twilight. We have nothing to carry this against mutas. And obviously, we only have 6 gateways. So
the Immortal pops out on the wrong side and gets focused down immediately. That Robo not in the best position. The Immortal had no place to run, and the Roaches are being so cost efficient here, taking out that Immortal, taking out Stalkers, and more reinforcing Zerglings are going to come in. A scary amount of 3 mutas now on the way, Pew.
And okay, he rebuilt the Cyber Core, so we do have some sentries being warped in, and of course he wants the force builds to stop the surrounding on the units. The Robo's getting targeted down. That is a big snipe because he does want the Immortals for the Roaches. The Roaches can get into the main easy peasy, and they're going to go straight.
He force fields himself out. GG.